Somewhere off the coast of Florida, right now, in water too dark to see through, a bottlenose dolphin makes a single rising whistle. And out of a whole pod, one other dolphin turns and answers. Not all of them, that one, because the whistle was its name. We have always told ourselves that the name, a sound that points at one individual and no one else, is one of the things that makes us human, a small flag planted firmly on our side of the line between us and every other animal. It turns out we were not the only ones who thought of it. And the strangest case of all is an animal that may name each other almost exactly the way you do. Start with what a name even is, because that is the whole game. A name is not just a sound an animal makes. A dog barks, a bird sings, but those broadcast a mood or a warning to anyone in earshot. A name is narrower and stranger than that. It is a vocal label that points at one particular individual. It has to be learned, not born with. And the cleanest version is one where the sound is arbitrary, where it does not resemble the thing it stands for at all. Your name is not an impression of you. It is just a sound the group agreed to attach to you. So the question for any animal is not, do they make sounds? It is, do they have a specific sound for a specific friend? The clearest answer in the animal kingdom comes from the ocean. Every bottlenose dolphin, early in its life, invents a single unique whistle, and then wears it for the rest of that life. Researchers call it a signature whistle. The dolphin produces it to announce itself, the way you might say, "It is me, I am here." Vincent Janik and his colleagues at the University of St. Andrews, building on decades of work, showed in a study in 2006 that the shape of that whistle alone carries the dolphin's identity. Other dolphins can tell exactly who is whistling, even with the voice stripped out, from the melody by itself. So each dolphin is, in effect, broadcasting its own name across the water. A calf works its whistle out in its first year or two, often borrowing pieces from the soundscape around it. And once it settles, that signature can stay stable for decades. Mothers and calves trade them across distance to stay found in the murk. So each dolphin is not only carrying a name, it is carrying one it built itself and kept for a lifetime. But broadcasting your own name is only half of it. The real test is whether they use each other's. They do. In 2013, Janik King and Vincent Janik published a result that is genuinely uncanny. They found that when a dolphin wants to get the attention of a specific other dolphin, it will copy that individual's signature whistle. It reproduces your name back at you across the open sea to call you specifically. And in their experiment, the dolphins responded to hearing a copy of their own whistle and not to others, the way you turn when you hear your name and not a stranger's. So dolphins do not just have names, they address each other by them. But notice exactly how they do it. The label a dolphin uses for you is a copy of the sound you already make. It is an imitation. Hold on to that, because it is about to matter. Because dolphins are not alone, and the others reveal a pattern. In a wild parrot called the green-rumped parrotlet, each bird also has a signature contact call. And in 2011, a team led by Carl Berg, working out of Cornell and Berkeley, proved something lovely about where it comes from. They quietly swapped eggs between nests, so chicks were raised by unrelated foster parents. And the chicks grew up with signature calls shaped by whoever raised them, not by their blood. The name is taught. It is handed down, learned in the nest, like a small inheritance of sound. But here, too, the label is built by imitation, copied and learned from the family. And for a long time, that looked like the rule. If an animal labels another animal, it does it by copying. The name sounds like the one it belongs to, which is what makes the next animal so unsettling. Because in 2024, a team led by Mickey Pardo at Colorado State University, working with elephant researchers Joyce Poole and George Whittemire, turned a machine learning model loose on hundreds of the low rumbles that African elephants use to call to one another. And the model could do something it should not have been able to do. From the sound of a rumble alone, it could predict, better than chance, which specific elephant the call was aimed at. The calls carried an address. Then they tested it in the wild. They played elephants a rumble that had originally been directed at them, and a rumble from the same caller directed at someone else. And the elephants reacted far more strongly to the one meant for them. They came closer. They answered more. They knew the call had their name on it. But here's the part that should genuinely stop you. The reason this is not just another dolphin story. The elephants were not imitating. When an elephant called to a specific friend, the sound it used was not a copy of that friend's own call. It was something else, something that did not resemble the receiver at all, which means the label was arbitrary. And an arbitrary label is exactly what your name is. Your name is not an imitation of a sound you make. It is an abstract symbol, agreed on, that simply stands for you. The dolphin copies your voice to call you. The elephant, it seems, may have invented a sound that just means you and holds it in mind, the way we hold a name. That is a far harder, far stranger thing for a brain to do, because it requires linking a sound to an individual with nothing connecting them but memory and agreement. So be careful here, because the science is careful. The elephant study rests on a few hundred calls, and the model was right only about a quarter of the time. Well above chance, but a long way from certain. The authors themselves call it name-like, not proof of names. And that hedge is honest. There is a third candidate, the marmoset, a small monkey claimed in 2024 to label its companions too. But that result is genuinely disputed, with other scientists arguing the pattern could be something simpler. The argument is not settled, and pretending it is would be a lie. What is solid is this. In the dolphin, and very probably in the elephant, on branches of the tree of life that split from ours tens of millions of years ago, the same odd invention shows up, a specific sound for a specific friend. So put it together. Naming was supposed to be ours. Instead, it appears to have been invented more than once, independently, by minds nothing like ours, in the sea and on the savanna. In most of them, it is built by imitation, the label echoing the one it names. But in the elephant, maybe, it crossed the harder line into the arbitrary, into a pure symbol, the same line our own language is built on. We do not know how much they understand by it. We cannot climb inside the rumble. And think about what it would mean if the elephant version is real. It would mean that when a matriarch loses a member of her family, she does not just lose a presence. She is left holding a sound that now points at no one, a name with nothing on the other end of it. That is uncomfortably close to the thing we feel when we say a person's name into an empty room. But somewhere tonight, in the dark, an elephant may be calling out across the grass, not just making noise, but reaching for one specific other by a name it chose. We thought that reaching was a human thing. It turns out we may have just been the loudest ones doing it.